Hey brothers and sisters, Steve Monette here with another video in my Bible Prophecy Bite series where we look at Bible scripture, history, and current events that all point to the soon return of Jesus the Messiah. Okay, so for today's video we're going to talk about the Trump peace plan and the sinister partnership that no one is really talking about. And what do I mean by that? Well, as most of you know, Trump did announce on January 23rd that he would release his long-awaited and endlessly delayed deal of the century. And by nature of his announcement, he did invite PM Netanyahu as well as his competitor in the upcoming elections, Benny Gantz, to a private meeting in Washington to discuss the details of the peace plan. Now, nearly every student of Bible prophecy instantly became excited when this announcement was made because we've all expected this plan to divide the promised land, and that never works out well to the person who's trying to do the dividing, as we've now know through history. But what we didn't know was that there was a very sinister partnership that was being formed behind the scenes. And most people didn't even see this. And if you did see it, most people didn't put the two events together. One day before the announcement that the Trump peace plan would be released, Vice President Mike Pence had a private meeting with the Pope, and that meeting lasted for approximately 1 hour, which by all accounts is considered to be very long, considering that Mike Pence is not considered a head of state. And further, it was also the first meeting that Mike Pence has had with the Pope. Now think about this. This meeting is no coincidence. Okay, one day before the announcement of the peace plan. And we also know that the Pope is very sympathetic to the Palestinian cause. He's also very sympathetic to the Arab world in general. We know that he's going to be signing a major educational, I'll call it agreement for lack of a better term, or initiative, on May 14th, which just so happens to be the anniversary of Israel as a state. Now, again, I'm not so convinced that that's not a coincidence either, but that's another rabbit hole altogether. But also remember that the Pope is the same guy that believes that Jerusalem should be split into several parts because he was quoted as saying that Jerusalem belongs to all religions. Apparently he hasn't read his Bible, I guess, but that's another story. So, in the coming days, weeks, and months, be prepared to see the Vatican play a major and critical role in the Trump peace plan. My gut tells me that they are going to be the ones that are going to be able to convince the Palestinians that this is the way to go. But we'll see. This whole peace plan is starting to look pretty ominous, if you ask me. Simply because everybody seems to be falling all over themselves to become a part of it. We've got the United States. We've even got both political party candidates in Israel. We've got the Pope and the Vatican. This is very telling. We also have the Arab world has come out publicly and said that, telling the Palestinians, hey, take a serious look at this plan that's being put out by Trump. And of course, from the Israeli side, we have President Rivlin, who stated to the Pope just a few months ago that he wanted peace with the Palestinians. So with everyone all, like I said, falling all over each other to sign up for this, it's very, very intriguing to say the least. When you put all of that together with President Trump, who is very highly motivated to do this deal. And why does he want to do this deal? Simply because the thrill of the deal is, quite frankly, it overrides all common sense with him. He's a deal maker, and he likes to make deals. It's that simple. And that's what's scary, to say the least. But I don't know about you, but I am beginning to have a much better appreciation for Paul's words to the Thessalonians. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. So, in closing, here are two issues that we need to be watchful for. This plan is likely to be released today, which is the 26th of January, or tomorrow, the 27th, simply because Trump has said it will be released prior to the meeting with Netanyahu, which is on the 28th. If this peace plan proposes to divide the promised land in any way, shape, or form, we need to watch out for a significant and a destructive natural event or natural disaster that will hit the USA within the next, 5 days or so. That is if history repeats itself, which it has on 13 different occasions or 14 different occasions. So we need to watch out for that. Second, just from a biblical and scriptural perspective, it still looks like spring and summer is the time of the rapture, regardless of what year it may fall into. So we need to watch very carefully over the next few months of how this peace deal starts to gel together and how all of the parties will come together to make a deal. So don't be surprised if you start to see a deal come together spring and summer, and more specifically, May, June, or even July. It would fit perfectly with Scripture. So, brothers and sisters, Bible prophecy is speeding up like never before. We are witnessing volcanoes popping off nearly every other day, which is seismos, which is the word that's used to describe earthquakes in Matthew 24. We're seeing pestilences all over the world, especially with this new coronavirus, which at this point cannot be stopped. And that is scary in and of itself. We're seeing hailstorms in a few parts of the world. Fire is ravaging Australia. Animal die-offs are off the charts and, quite frankly, are in the billions at this point. We see Gog and Magog becoming closer. We see the 4 angels of the Euphrates, which is Iran, Iraq, Turkey, and Syria, all becoming quite restless. And now we have the USA, the Pope, Israel, and the Arab world probably getting ready to say peace and safety in the next few months. And what follows is the day of the Lord. And we do not want to be around for that day. So one quick final note before I go. Many will ask, do I believe that this peace plan is part of the Daniel 9 covenant? Well, the answer is no. I do not believe this peace plan has anything to do with the Daniel 9 covenant. And as I've stated in previous videos, Scripture proves Scripture. And we all know that Jesus quoted directly from Daniel 9 when he said in Matthew 26, verse 28, that his blood was the blood of the new covenant and was shed for many. He just basically quoted directly from Daniel 9. So I think that verse alone pretty much states the fact of what covenant was fulfilled and when that covenant was fulfilled. It was Jesus the Messiah that made the covenant with many. Okay. You want to disagree with that? That's certainly fine. It is not a salvation issue, and I certainly respect your opinion, and hopefully you would respect mine. I let Scripture decide Scripture. So if you do have a difference of opinion on that matter, so be it. It's okay. As long as your faith is in Jesus Christ, that difference of opinion doesn't matter, because that's all it is. It's just a small difference of opinion, okay? So, brothers and sisters, keep watching, keep the faith, and most of all, keep looking up, for our redemption draws near. Thanks for watching.